The waiter didn't look at me when he said it. "I'm sorry. It didn't go through." He said it the way people do when they assume embarrassment will follow. My brother leaned back in his chair. "You serious?" He laughed, just loud enough for the table. "All that talk about investments and you can't cover dinner." My mother didn't laugh, but she didn't stop him either. She folded her napkin carefully, avoiding my eyes. The declined card wasn't a mistake. I had locked it that morning. I slid it back into my wallet without argument. "It's fine," I said. "You guys can handle it." Silence, thin and irritated. For years I had handled it. Dinners, rent, loans, emergency repairs that were never emergencies, legal fees, bail once, quiet transfers labeled as gifts so no one would feel small. And every time I hesitated, I was reminded what family does for each other. Love was measured in withdrawals. What they didn't know was that 3 weeks earlier, I had sat in a quiet office across from a tax attorney who didn't use words like loyalty or sacrifice. He used words like exposure, liability, fraud. He slid a stack of documents toward me. Joint accounts I'd been added to, for convenience. Business filings that listed my name as a partner. Deductions claimed under my social security number. "I'm going to be very direct," he said calmly. "If this gets audited as is, you are responsible. Responsible. For income I never saw. For expenses I didn't approve. For a company I never worked for. When I confronted my brother about it back then, he waved it off. It's just paperwork. You're overthinking it. We'd never let anything happen to you." He said it with a smile. The same smile he used when he'd grab my shoulder too hard during arguments and call it joking. I wanted to believe him. I always had. But the attorney didn't deal in belief. He dealt in timelines and penalties. That was the first day I understood that love, in our family, came with signatures. So I did something quiet. I removed my name from every shared account I legally could. I revoked authorizations. I opened new banking lines they didn't know about. I filed amended returns to correct what had been filed under my number. Not to punish them. To separate. The restaurant bill sat untouched on the table now. "You're being dramatic," my brother said finally. "It's dinner." "It's not," I replied. That was all. I left before the check was settled. The calls started that night. First confusion. Then anger. "You froze the business account," he demanded over speakerphone. I removed myself from it. "You can't just do that. There are payments scheduled." That's exactly why I did. He accused me of sabotage. Of abandoning family when things were tight. He reminded me of every time he'd had my back, which usually meant standing nearby while someone else yelled. Then came the letter. Not to me, to him. Certified mail from the IRS requesting documentation for discrepancies between reported revenue and tax filings over the past 2 years. When you detach yourself from a structure, sometimes it exposes the cracks holding it up. He called again, but his voice had changed. "Did you report us?" "I corrected my filings," I said evenly. "They cross-reference." There was a long pause. "You're ruining us." I had heard that sentence before, in different forms. I didn't raise my voice. "No. I'm protecting myself." That's the part no one likes. Protection feels like betrayal to people who benefit from your risk. Over the next month, more letters arrived. Audit notices, requests for receipts, inquiries about payroll classifications. My mother called once, crying softly, asking why I couldn't just fix it like before. Because fixing it meant absorbing it. It meant paying what wasn't mine to pay. It meant pretending bruises were accidents and missing money was miscalculation. I met with my attorney again. We reviewed my clean filings. My accounts were separate now. My liability limited. For the first time in years, my finances were boring. Boring is underrated. The family group chat went quiet, then hostile, then silent. They hired their own accountant. They set up payment plans. They downsized the business. It didn't collapse. It just had to operate without my hidden credit line. No one apologized. No one acknowledged the signatures forged in my trust. But the dynamic shifted. I wasn't the emergency contact anymore. I wasn't the guarantor. I wasn't the quiet solution. Last week, I sat alone at my kitchen table reviewing this year's tax return, just mine, income I earned, expenses I approved, no shared lines, there was no celebration in it. Just relief. The declined card at that restaurant wasn't about being broke. It was the first visible sign that I was done underwriting a system that hurt me and called it loyalty. The bill they received didn't come from anger. It came from documentation. And for the first time, the only numbers attached to my name were my own.